You remember yesterday I told you this was breaking news when we did it. I had a young man on us, James, BCP, Black Conservative Patriot, and it was breaking news, and we talked about it when it broke yesterday on my show. And I was at the time, because I never heard of it happening before, and I was like, how did this happen? This never happened before, right? And I was under the impression that they've never done this before. Well, I was wrong. I have to stand corrected, because I had never heard of it. They've actually done this before. They've actually done this to Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was running for political office in 10 states, 10 southern states. They decided upon themselves to remove Abraham Lincoln. And because they removed him, they removed him from these states in 1860, and I want to tell you why they decided to do this. And, you know, here's a statement, too, and this is the title of my show. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. That's a quote from Abraham Lincoln. Now, I want to give you some more information that I saw Simon Talib that he put on X. And I was like, this is so good, I have to relay this to everybody else. And I quote, just like Colorado now, the Democrats, I put that in there, who were mainly slave owners, they barred presidential candidate Abraham Lincoln from appearing on the ballot in 10 southern states during the 1860 presidential election. But Abraham Lincoln was elected as the 16th president of the United States, becoming the first Republican president in American history. You know the Democrats were upset. They're still upset. These states were southern states. It was Carolina, Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, North Carolina, and Virginia. Lincoln did not appear on the ballots in these southern states because they did not like his support, or they did not like his support, as they didn't want to support him as a candidacy because he was anti-slavery. I'm like, what? He was anti-slavery. But so we can't have him on the ballot because he's anti-slavery. He didn't want to own black people.
A political view.
He didn't want to own black people. Yep. So we removed him from the ballot because Abraham Lincoln did not want us to own black people.
How is that constitutional?
Right? The Democrats, 100%. The Democrats wanted to keep slavery forever. And you know what? They're actually doing it today. And you know how they're doing it? The southern border. Where are the 87,000 children at right now that they put in slaves right now? Where are they at? Listen to me. Sex slaves. Trying to put it together. These slave states chose to support other candidates other than Lincoln, not including his name on their ballot. However, despite not being on the ballot, right, in these states, he won the election with a majority of electoral votes from the states that were on where they had him on the ballot.
Yep, it was a four-way.
It was, yes.
Election.
Yeah, y'all see this. Y'all see this right here, right? I mean, this was in 1860, so this is not the first time. And isn't it something? They did this to Abraham Lincoln, who freed black people, freed the slaves, and the same Democrat Party, they're doing it to another Republican. Because this Republican, President Trump, not only does he want black people to be free, he wants white people, Asian people, Hispanic people. He wants the American people to be free. You see the same similarities here. It's the exact same thing. So the parties never switched.
Yeah, and the tactics never changed.
The tactics never changed.
When you have a different political view, they will go against you. They're going to find just a different way of doing it, right?
Yeah. They're not, yeah. And they're violating the Constitution, which brings me to this here. Look at this. One says pro-democracy, and the other button says ban Trump from the ballot. Liberal. And they're like sweating because this is exactly what it is. They're constantly, liberals, they're constantly talking about democracy, democracy, democracy when we are a constitutional republic. But democracy is when you get the vote. You get to select the person that you want. We exercise democracy. Anyone agree with that? Because that's what democracy is. You get to participate in the democratic process. The Democrats, there's nothing democratic about them. They're nothing but Democrats. Let me move on. Here's President Trump, straight up talking about the weaponization of the federal government and what they're doing to him about Colorado.
It's no wonder crooked Joe Biden and the far-left lunatics are desperate to stop us by any means necessary. They are willing to violate the U.S. Constitution at levels never seen before in order to win this election. Joe Biden is a threat to democracy. It's a threat. They're weaponizing law enforcement for high-level election interference because we're beating them so badly in the polls.
Yes, and that's the reason why they're doing this. I talked about this yesterday. The Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote being the Democrats and the Roadrunner being President Trump, and they're constantly setting up traps for President Trump. They keep missing them. They keep messing up. They keep failing. And they're still trying. They're not giving up. They fear Trump. And the reason why President Trump is up in the polls is because of stuff like this. The reason why President Trump is up in the polls is because of what the Democrats are doing, because of the open border, people dying from fentanyl, the gas price is still high, the food prices are still high, our economy in shams. That's the reason why people are supporting President Trump. So they're going all out the way. They're willing to violate the U.S. Constitution if that means they get to remove President Trump. That's what that means. I know people on here have their reservations and don't like Alan Dershowitz, but I want y'all to listen to what he's saying, because he's straight up before said that he wasn't voting for Trump. I'm tending to think that he's going to change his view on that. I'm thinking I think he's going to end up voting for Trump, like many of us. I want to tell you something else too that happened to me today, but listen to this first.
In the 60 years I've been practicing and teaching law, I've never seen a decision that is so anti-democratic and so unconstitutional. It is absurd. The idea that the 14th Amendment was supposed to be substitute to the impeachment provision carefully drafted by the framers is wrong. If you want to impeach a president, if you want to make him not be able to run in the future, there's a provision. It requires a 2/3 vote of the Senate. But the idea that the framers of the 14th Amendment intended to circumvent that carefully drawn provision and simply allow any state to make up grounds for denying him the right to be on the ballot undercuts democracy. The 14th Amendment itself is very clear. It says in Section 5, the Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. The Congress. That's the United States Congress. There's no provision in the 14th Amendment for any state, or certainly any state court, to interfere with the right to vote by its citizens. So this is a terrible, terrible decision.
They're violating the Constitution.
I mean, they make up their own rules.
Don't even care.
They make up their own rules.
They're making up their own rules.
And they depend on the ignorance of the people, right? You know what? But there's so many people coming out saying this is unconstitutional. Even a Democrat, just like Dershowitz,
Alan Dershowitz,
Democrat professor at Harvard. It's great. And you know what? This next video is maddening to me.
It is. But before I play this next video, let me tell you what happened to me today. So here lately, I've been really trying to get more in health, and I've been taking the products that we have here on LFA, the Field of Greens. I'm still doing that. My producer, she just took some earlier today, and I'll go to the gym. And when I go to the gym, I have T-shirts that I wear that are like cut off sleeves because I don't like anything on my sleeves when I'm working out. And I have T-shirts that I have on my website still. The one says MAGA Country, and I have one that says MAGA King. I have one that says God Bless America. And I'm working out in the gym. And I see black people in the gym walking around and they're working out. And people, for the most part, don't talk to each other. And this black dude that I see in there all the time, he walked up to me today. And I had on a MAGA King T-shirt. And he goes, dude, I love that shirt. And he seen me in the gym multiple times. When they indict, we unite. And they're just taking it another step.
You like the content Will Johnson is producing? To stay informed and up to date with the current events, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this one. Also, to find Will Johnson, visit www.uaf.media.